Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. One of the reasons why I started making videos was the fact that those experts, analysts, university professors, former, White House advisors, former this and all that, were telling me all kind of things regarding the foreign policy of the US, and some were analyzing the internal issues of the United States, and they were making all kind of prognosis. They were telling us, oh, this is what's gonna happen, I predict this, I predict that, I'm an expert, look at me. And I was watching these guys and I was thinking, no. And I was thinking, this guy is either a weasel, which means he's lying here, or he's dumb, or maybe, I don't know, some in between. Why? Because after a while, their predictions were wrong. Somehow they were wrong. But you know what? Those guys kept being invited to the shows. Wherever they were coming, at Fox News, CNN, MSNBC, all these guys were having their panel of experts. They were talking smack. And I was like, I know more than these guys, because my predictions, compared with their predictions, have a higher rate of success. So I said, hey, how about this? These guys are liars and I'm sick of them. So let's look, for instance, I was thinking today, I was just looking for certain things, and I came with the idea, what if I look on YouTube and I just go down, and I put the keywords Putin lost war already, or something like this, and go back in time, look at the articles or the videos made by various individuals or statements made by these former generals, experts, international affairs, professors, and whatever, and see how many of them were wrong, telling us, the evidence is on YouTube, Putin already lost the war. Well, I will show you, because I will go down the list, and this is what I did. I put the keywords here, the search, Putin already lost. So I found one. The first one is from CNN 5 months ago. It says, U.S. National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan argued that 1 year into the conflict, Ukraine has already stopped Russia from blah, blah, blah. This is the title. Russia has already lost. U.S. officials lay out state of Putin's invasion. This is 5 months ago. Now, 3 weeks ago, Putin has already lost the war, Biden tells us. We go down, lower, and we have Blinken telling us 3 weeks ago, Putin has already lost the war. Okay, no problem. We go down and we find this guy, Mark Milley. Russia has lost strategically, operationally, and tactically. Top U.S. general says. This is 5 months ago. CNN reports. Now we have this expert right here, former military, the UK military chief, Sir Tony Radakin, an idiot, obviously. 1 year ago, Ukraine war, UK military chief says Putin has already lost. So these are just a few experts, and that's the presidents, what's his name, advisors, right? And then you have Blinken, Secretary of State. Then you have this shuffling madness that doesn't know what's going on with him. Then you have this top U.S. general. Then you have this guy, UK military general, chief, whatever he is. Oh, and if I go down, look, I got another one. McFall. This is what? 1 year ago, Putin has already lost this war. As Russia began battle for Donbass. Right here, expert. This is what? CNN, after this weasel, I think. No, MSNBC. I'm sorry, I know that weasel, but... So if you go down, you're going to find more articles, more videos coming from idiots, telling us the same thing, that these guys already lost, they're already dead. But somehow, after a year, 6 months, 3 months, they're not dead. Okay, they're not. Again, look at this. 5 months ago, Putin has his back against the wall. Former NATO commander on Russia's war with Ukraine. This is 5 months ago, this idiot right here. So, this is evidence that these guys don't know what they're talking about. Now, my question is, did they apologize? Do they keep their job? This is their job, and they're bad at it. What happens? Do they get demoted? Do they get fired? Do they get embarrassed? And these are people, they're supposed to be experts with access to information, more than we have access to information. Mark Milley, or the UK military guy over there, Chief, Blinken, Sullivan, Biden, all these guys that I mentioned, and the experts, they should know more than I do or you do by default. And look at those articles. Look at those statements made 5 months ago, a year ago. Now, should I believe them? That's why I don't believe anybody over there. But that's why I make this analogy. For me, Emil Kosman, in order to make these videos and have my assessments and my predictions, I feel like I'm going through a 20-meter long, dark, narrow alley full of shits on the ground. I made this analogy many times. But I know they're over there all the way, because people can hold it, and they do that. But it happened in Romania, so that's why my analogy is. And it's very poorly lighted. You don't have light, you don't see it. You don't have a phone to put a flashlight, you don't have anything, a match or anything. So they're over there, and you can kind of see the ground. So you just try to jump from one to another, and you step on some, we call them colonels. Colonel, that's how we call the shit. We used to, I don't know how they call them now in Romania. So sometimes you step on these guys, at the end of the 20-meter narrow alley, you're going to look on your shoes and Jesus Christ, and keep going. So that's how I have to do when I read all these experts and I read all these articles coming from all directions, telling me this, telling me that, telling me this, telling me that. And I have to figure out, poor me, which one is at least lying less. And, I put them against one another. I don't have, when I make some videos, I don't have 5 weeks to make a video. In half an hour, I'm ready. In half an hour, I get all my documentation. And I have to figure out who's lying and who's not lying that much. And I have to ignore it, pick it, and so on, in order to give you a view on certain developments. So this is just an example of the experts that we got and all these politicians. What happens to them? Anybody apologizes? No. You have Clapper, the former CIA boss, comes and he's on a panel on, I don't know, MSNBC or something. He's revered and everybody listens to Clapper like he has a direct phone line with God, who's going to tell him, hey, Clapper, this is what happened, this is what will happen. And then Clapper comes with 10 commandments and to us and tells us, hey, I got this confidential information, I can't disclose the sources, this is what's going to happen. Shut up. This is how I feel. Now, if I know certain things about this kind of subjects, and I know these guys are lying, and you can see their predictions are off, imagine that you listen to someone else, I don't know, when you watch a UFC fight, and you don't know anything about, let's say, fighting. And you listen to the guys, the commentators, Rogan and, let's say, DC, which I like both of them. But if you don't know anything about what's going on over there, just see people, that there's a lot of tactical moves over there. The people start booing and all that because they don't smack one another. But it's a lot of knowledge over there. Even if they don't do anything, they do a lot. But they do a lot by movement, by changing, by fainting and all that. Nevertheless, the same, I got burnt. I got sick of History Channel when I was much younger. I used to watch documentaries. I always liked documentaries. I was interested in knowing. So I like documentaries. I know in Romania it was every Thursday at 7 o'clock p.m. when I was a kid, and we had a 3-hour program, one channel in the communist times. At 7 o'clock it was called Teleencyclopedia. All the Romanians know. So I was a kid and I was coming, I think at 7 o'clock Thursday evening. At 7 o'clock it was Teleencyclopedia. The whole program was from about maybe 7, another program. Teleencyclopedia was half an hour, 20 minutes. That's it. That's the whole documentary, the whole week. So I was watching those guys, but I was a kid. I was getting information, documentaries made about animals, historical stuff, and whatever they were broadcasting over there. So I liked watching documentaries until I realized that I knew more than those guys were telling me in a documentary, especially during the Second World and about the Second World War. So I said, wait a minute. I'm watching this documentary on, let's say, evacuation of Dunkirk. Let's use that one. I'm like, No, 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 no. What are these guys talking about? That's not true. The conclusion is not the right one. Or why? Because I have counter arguments that would destroy their conclusion. So I realized these guys have a interest. They have their agenda. So I know something about this subject. Let's, as I said, Dunkirk, or let's say the Barbarossa, or I don't know, Sea Lion operation. And they tell you something. I say, wait a minute, no, how about that? How about that? And they don't mention that. So you realize that they pick and choose, they form an opinion. But a person who doesn't know anything about, let's say, the Sea Lion operation or the Barbarossa operation, they just take that and that's going to be their knowledge, the documentary, as me as a child. So when I realized these guys in History Channel or whatever I was watching were weasels, I stopped watching them, because I can't watch something I don't know anything about, because they might be lying to me. Not lying by omission. And they will skew it towards a conclusion. And since I don't know anything about a subject, I will take that as being from the experts. And experts, historians, and whatever should be trusted, right? Okay. Like these guys right here, the weasels, the generals, must be trusted, right? Because they know what they're talking about. Well, obviously not. I gave you 2 generals over there. They're off already. And remember, they said it's over now. Not that it's going to be over. I skipped the ones that say, hey, Russia will lose in the end. The war is not over. That's possible. But they don't say that. Lost. Past tense. Or maybe a present perfect. Have lost or has lost. Russia has lost yet or something. Anyway, friends, this is it. You do the same thing with many other predictions of these weasels, and you're going to realize these guys don't know shit. Or if they know, they're just lying to us. They just create something that is not there. And the problem is they still have jobs. They're still respected as analysts, and you see them again and again and again. And people forget, wait a minute, Milley said a year that these guys lost. The other weasel said a year ago these guys lost already. And they didn't. So demote it out, because that means you don't know what you're talking about. I don't want you in a position of control and power, right, as a general, when you're going to have forces fighting and you have such a poor assessment of reality that your prediction is so fucking off. Okay? That's dangerous. Now Biden is, but these guys, do that on your own and pick whatever subject you want. I don't know, Zelensky is won. Put that one over there and see how many you're going to say Zelensky won or something. And you're going to find out things that really did not happen for so long. And they use the past tense, which started and ended. Or, lost already. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.